Well, Blues, we did have a slightly higher or more lofty expectations, Jake, and their last 2 losses have us wondering how close to finals, let alone a top 4 berth, this side is.
They were a lock to play finals in my mind at the start of the year. I still think they will.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of concerns that we probably didn't have a month ago.
Probably one of the most boring sides to watch play footy at the moment.
Yeah?
Is that fair?
Freo's up there.
Yeah.
But no, they are. They're not playing... Carlton's relying on talent to win games as opposed to any sort of structure, rhyme and reason to the way they're playing. And that's what's concerning to me because talent will only take you so far. Looking at some kind of base stats, like Carlton have the 2 players that have taken the most contested marks. Harry and Charlie have taken... They're 1 and 2 for contested marks in the competition. So that shows like they get a contested... I think we underestimate or undervalue how important contested marks are. It breaks up the play. You're winning the ball from a 50-50 situation. If you're a forward, you're usually taking a shot for goal. The fact that we're getting that, Cripps, as much criticism as he's copped in the early part of the year, I don't think he's been as bad as what people have said. Probably just down from what
his goal kicking struggling.
Goal kicking struggling, but he's still doing what he needs to do.
I would prefer for a key forward to take as many uncontested marks in the forward 50 as possible and not be relied upon to take the bailout contested mark. So this is my
point. So they're relying on the fact that these guys are great athletes at what they're doing, than the fact that they're not finding them in space. That's the problem with the Blues, and that comes back to... Well, that comes back to Voss and the way Carlton's playing. And at the moment, it doesn't seem to be standing up. And to be completely honest, you look at the percentage, and people say, the percentage doesn't matter for Carlton now because they've got the draw. Well, a couple of things with that. Who's to say that Carlton doesn't draw again and get back on that 4 multiples of 4? Who's to say Richmond doesn't draw and then they're fighting with Richmond? Who's to say any other team doesn't? Not to mention the fact that the percentage, as Christian will say, is a great indicator of how a team's going. And the fact that Carlton is at 90 or 92% after 6 weeks.
92.4.
Yeah, is extremely low. That's easily the lowest of anyone in the top 8.
Still 1 more games than they've lost, and with a percentage 7 or 6 or 7 points below the 100.
Yeah,
mark.
but for the course of the year, down on the year, scored fewer points than their opposition.
The slow kick mark to try and then find a long kick inside 50 and hope for a contested mark. That's kind of what I've noticed from Carlton's game plan. And it just doesn't look good. It doesn't tend to work a lot of the time, Christian.
Yeah, and if you look at... So you go back to the start of last year when Voss took over and just look at Carlton's averages from round 1 last year through to where we are now. And they're number 1 for disposals per game, 8th for inside 50s per game, 10th for scoring per inside 50. So... it sort of drops off. We get a lot of the ball. Second best contested possession side behind Melbourne, but 8th for inside 50, so just mid-table, so not giving Charlie and Harry Mackay much supply up there.
But it was such a contrast to the way St Kilda played on the weekend, where they, as Christian alluded to in the previous week, so they allow you to have the ball. And Carlton does have a lot of the ball, and we saw the stat sheet at the end of the game, and every Carlton midfielder had about 35 touches.
And that's why I didn't work on that game, but I feel like the commentary's compounded on that because Carlton's main problem is, sometimes they get stuck in a rut and do a lot with the ball without going forward. And St Kilda's main strength is, hey, you can have a lot of the ball and not move it forward. So it was almost the perfect storm of, St Kilda smashed Carlton in Carlton's problem areas, and everyone sort of jumped on and said, and again, I sort of laugh when you said, Matt, that the most boring team to watch, which is probably a fair comment after this week, but I do remember at round 19-20 where everyone was saying they were the most exciting team to watch.
Well, that's when he said that question, I had pause because I thought of that. Yeah.
Because it was built on contested possessions. It was like they're going to smash in at the contest, they're going to fly out of clearances, and it looked exciting. But again, when you sort of step back and go, okay, how does it stack up in a finals game when you need to control tempo? They weren't a tempo controlling team last year.
Credit to Adam White from SEN for this stat, but Carlton have now only won 7 of the last 18. And those wins have come against West Coast, Essendon, North Melbourne, the Giants ×2, Fremantle, and the outlier being Geelong, but Geelong notoriously slow starters.
Or slow start, period. But yes. Not good. It's not good.
And again, talk about personnel and sort of, setting up a game plan with the right players that you've got. So they're very good at contests, and we know about the inside midfielders, Hewitt, Cripps, even Matt Kennedy when he's playing. They're all good, really, really good contested ball winners. But of the 9 midfielders Carlton has, only 2 have a positive kick rating. So that's, comparing you to the rest of the competition average. And Hewitt's one of those that's in the positive for his kick rating.
But he never kicks.
Exactly. And he averages 97 metres per game. So yes, he's a safe kick, but he's not doing much with it. 97 metres per game is poor for so bottom 10% for a midfielder. So he doesn't get a lot of distance with it. Sam Walsh is the other one that's in the positive. He's only played the 2 games. So.
Well, that says to me that Carlton relies a lot on its rebounding off half-back. And you look at the names that are missing from that half-back line at the moment. So Sam Doherty's not there. Adam Sard's not there. May return this coming week. And obviously Zach Williams is out for the year. So there are, not that I want to give Carlton excuses, but there are, I'm sure,
reasons as to why
they're playing a game the style that might not suit what we want to see from them.
Going back to that point, what was it, 7 of the last 19 or 18?
7 and 18, yeah.
7 and 18. Maybe that's, and I'll be the first to put my hand up if this is where Carlton is, because I thought Carlton was a top 8 side. I think a lot of people did.
7 from 18. My apologies. Yeah.
But maybe Carlton, and you listed the teams. Maybe Carlton's beating the teams that they are better than and losing to the teams.
Honest club.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, 9th, 10th best side.
Maybe
we'll have to find out.